friends. Today we're going to review our letters, our colors, and our shapes, and then I'm going to read a fun story about an animal who lives in the ocean. Okay, so we're going to go over our letters first, okay, and we'll sing our song. And what this letter is? This is the letter A. We have our capital A and lowercase a. The A can make the A sound like in Ava, or the A sound like in apple, an alligator, an astronaut. A is for apple, ah. A is for apple, ah. And remember this letter? This is the letter B. We have our capital B for Benjamin and our lowercase b. It makes the B sound like bus and baby and ball and balloon. B is for bus, b. B is for bus, b. And this letter is the letter C. We have our capital and lowercase c. It makes the k sound like cake and candy and corn and carrots. C is for cake, k. C is for cake, k. And then we have what letter? D. We have our capital D and our lowercase d. The letter D makes the D sound like duck and dog and daddy and dinosaur. D is for duck, duh. D is for duck, duh. And this letter is the letter E. We have our capital E for Evelyn and Esme, and our lowercase e makes the E sound like an Easter, or the S sound like an egg, an elephant, an elevator. E is for egg, eh. E is for egg, eh. And this one is the letter F. We have our capital F, our lowercase f. The F makes a f sound like fish and fingers and feathers and French fries. And what letter is this one? This is the letter G. We have our capital G for God and our lowercase g. The G makes the G sound like goat and God and girl and gravy. G is for goat, g. G is for goat, g. And this letter is the letter H. We have our capital H and lowercase h. The H makes the h sound like house and happy and heart and hallelujah. All right, and here we have what letter? The letter I, our capital I for Ivana, and our lowercase I. The I has the I sound like ice cream and ice skates, and the I sound like iguana, Ivana, and inside. I for iguana, I. I for iguana, I. And what letter is this one? Here's our capital J for Jason and Jesus, and there's our lowercase j. Makes the J sound like jam and jar and jelly and jump rope. J is for jam, J. J is for jam, J. And what letter is this one? It's the letter K. We have our capital and lowercase k. Makes the k sound like kite and kitchen and kangaroo. K is for kite, k. K is for kite, k. And this one is the letter L. There's our capital L and our lowercase l. It makes the ul sound like lion and lady and ladybug. L is for lion, ul. L is for lion, ul. And then we have what letter? The letter M. We have our capital M and lowercase m. The M makes the sound like mitten and mommy and marshmallow. M is for mitten, M is for mitten, And what letter is this one? This is our letter N. We have our capital N and our lowercase n. The N makes the sound. Capital N is for Nico and Nicolette. And the N makes the sound like nest and nose and noisy. N is for nest, N is for nest, And do you remember that letter? That's the letter O. O is for octopus. And for ocean, here's the capital O and the lowercase o. O is for octopus, ah. O is for octopus, ah. And what letter is this one? This is the letter P. We have our capital P and our lowercase p. It makes the p sound like in panda and popcorn and party. P is for panda, P is for panda, And what letter is this one? Here's our capital Q and lowercase q. It makes a qu sound like quilt in queen and quiet. Q is for quilt, qua, qua, qua. Q is for quilt, qua, qua, qua. And remember this letter? This is the letter R. We have our capital R and our lowercase r. It makes the sound, like rope and run and rhinoceros. R is for rope, er. R is for rope, er. And this letter is what letter? The letter S. We have our capital S and our lowercase s. The S makes the S sound, like sandwich and soup and socks. S is for sandwich, S is for sandwich, and this is the letter T. We have our capital T and our lowercase t. The T makes the T sound, like television and toothpaste and tiger. T is for television, T is for television, and here we have our letter U. There's our capital and lowercase u. It makes the sound like in umbrella, or the U sound like in unicorn. U is for umbrella, U is for umbrella, And we have this letter here is the letter V, our capital, lowercase v, makes the V sound like in violin and vase. V is for violin, v. V is for violin, v. And do you remember this letter? There's our letter W. There's our capital W and lowercase w. It makes the W sound like in wagon and watermelon. W is for wagon, w. W is for wagon, w. And do you remember this letter? Yeah, this is the letter X, our capital lowercase x. Now remember, the X sometimes has that Z sound like in xylophone at the beginning, or we have it at the beginning of X-ray, and usually we hear that X sound at the end of words like fox and box. X is for xylophone, X is for xylophone, and here is the letter Y. We have our capital Y, lowercase y makes the y sound like in yo-yo and yummy. Y is for yo-yo, yeah. Y is for yo-yo, yeah. And this is our letter Z, which makes the Z sound, our capital and lowercase z, for zebra and zippity. Z is for zebra, Z is for zebra, So those are all the letters of our alphabet. And now we're going to go over our colors and our shapes. Remember what this color is? This is the color yellow. Is anybody wearing yellow? Okay, and what shape is this? This is a star. And how about this one? What color is that? That's orange. Orange. This is a triangle. A triangle has 1, 2, 3 sides and 1, 2, 3 corners. That's a triangle. And what about this one? This is red, and what shape is it? It's a heart. That's a heart, like for Valentine's. And what is this one? This is brown, and this is a circle. And do you remember this one? This is the color green, and this is called a rectangle. A rectangle has 4 sides, but 2 sides are short and 2 sides are long. That's a rectangle. And this one is purple. This is a diamond. A diamond has 4 sides, but there comes to a point, like a kite. So that's a diamond shape. And you remember this one? This is pink, and it's shaped like an oval, like an egg. And what color is this one? This is blue, and this is a square. Remember, a square has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides that are all the same size, and 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. Okay, do you remember what this color is? That's black and white, and what color is this crayon? Gray. Okay, so those are all of our colors also. All right, so now I have a really fun story. We've been talking about things that are in the ocean, and today I have a fun story called Clumsy Crab. And a crab is an animal who lives in the ocean. Now, this story was written and illustrated by Ruth Galloway. All right, so this is called Clumsy Crab, and that's him right there. What color is he? He's red and orange. Okay, so this is Clumsy Crab. And here we see Clumsy Crab under the sea with all of his friends. Okay, it looks like they're having a great time. Clumsy Crab. Nipper the crab hated his huge, clumsy claws. Snip, snap, clip, clap. No matter how hard he tried, they always got in the way. Oh, poor Nipper. None of his friends had clumsy claws. He wished he had tickly tentacles like octopus and jellyfish, or flippity fins like turtle and the fish. One day, Nipper was playing catch the bubble with his friends. Okay, there it is right there. Pop! His clumsy claws burst the bubble. They couldn't play that game anymore, so they played tag instead. Nipper scuttled off sideways, but one of his clumsy claws got in the way. Uh-oh, what do you think's going to happen? Whoa! Nipper slipped and stumbled, tripped and tumbled until he was buried up to his eyes in sand. Turtle came to dig him out. Everyone decided to play hide and seek. Nipper climbed into a big clamshell and pulled it shut. Looks like a good hiding place, doesn't it? It was the perfect hiding place until smash! Nipper's clumsy claws shattered the shell into hundreds of tiny pieces. Ouch! He cried. Help! Jellyfish picked up the pieces of shell. If I didn't have these clumsy claws, I wouldn't break everything, and I'd be good at hide and seek, said Nipper. Don't worry, Nipper, said the others. We'll hide, and you can find us. Well, that's nice, right? He's got good friends. Nipper counted to 10, then set off to find his friends. He scuttled through the sand and found Turtle. He shuffled under the shells and found Jellyfish. And he searched up and down, in and out, and all around the rocks. But he couldn't find Octopus anywhere. Can you find Octopus in that picture? I think that's him hiding right back there. See his pink tentacles? Suddenly, everyone heard a cry. Octopus was tangled up tightly in some seaweed. Oh no! Octopus squirmed and squiggled and wriggled and jiggled. Turtle and Jellyfish tried to help, but the knots just got tighter and tighter. Nipper had an idea. What do you think he's going to do? Nipper snipped at the seaweed with his claws. Faster and faster, Nipper danced around the clump of seaweed, snipping and snapping, clipping and clapping. His claws moved quickly, slashing and slicing, shredding and dicing, until the sea was filled with tiny pieces of swirling seaweed. Oh, isn't that great? He helped his friend. Octopus was finally free. Thank you, Nipper. You're a clever crab, he cheered. Nipper waved his claws happily. At last he knew how useful they could be. Here we see. There's Nipper again, playing with all of his friends. Wasn't that nice? What a happy story. Okay, so since Nipper was a crab, we are going to do a paper with a crab. And see, here we see our crab here. Okay, and this is a color by letter paper. We've done lots of these before. I know you like these. So we're going to do a color by letter. And down on the bottom, we have our color code. So I'm going to go over the color code and the letters that we're going to be using. Okay. All right, so these are the letters that we're going to use, and we'll go over the colors and the letters. Okay, so the very first letter is the letter A. Okay, letter A, and next to the letter A is R-E-D. That is the color red. Take your red crayon and just color the word red right next to that letter A. All right, the next letter is the letter B. Okay, and the letter B is going to be gray. So take your gray crayon and color G-R-A-Y next to the letter B. Okay, our next letter is C. And the letter C is going to be O-R-A-N-G-E. Remember what color that is? That is orange. So I'm going to color that orange. Okay, our next letter over here on this side is the letter D. And D is P-U-R-P-L-E. And that is purple. So we're going to make that little space there purple. Okay, underneath that we have the letter E. And the letter E is going to be B-L-U-E, which is blue. Make that blue. And our last letter is the letter F. Okay, and F is G-R-E-E-N, and that will be green. Okay, so I'm going to move this in a little bit so you can see a little better. Okay, so we're going to be doing this together. So some of the spaces are a little small, but I know you can do a good job. Okay, so let's look at it together. Okay, our very first letter is the letter A. What color are we going to make the letter A? Red. So let's find all of our A's. And it looks like our crab here is red because you see lots of A's on there. So we're going to color our letter A. Okay, use your red crayon. Remember, look at your paper. You want to try to do your very best. Okay. And I wonder if this is nipper. Now this part here, just the top there, okay, that is the letter A right on top. Okay, so we'll do that part up there with our red crayon. And over here, this looks like the top of his eyes. And we're going to color his little legs here. Okay, these little skinny spaces. So make sure you're taking your time. Remember, you only go inside each space one at a time. All right, now this part here is his body. So we can color his body. Color that red. Okay. Remember, you want to make sure that you're doing each space the right color, so only do one space at a time. Right? And up in here, it looks like one of his claws there. His big, sharp, grabby claws. And it looks like we have a couple more legs over here. Okay, so crabs have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 legs, and then those two big claws. Okay, now let's see. Let's take a look around our paper and see if we have any more A's. Do you see any more A's anywhere? Let's take a good look. Okay, I don't think so. All right, so that's the end of our A's with our red crayon. Our next color is gray, and that's the letter B. So take your gray crayon, and we're going to look for the letter B. Where do we see a B? Okay, this anchor here, this is a big anchor. That is all going to be gray. Okay, this is all part of the anchor. So this whole big thing here is going to be gray. Now remember, if you don't have a gray crayon, you can use black, but just do it very, very, very lightly. Okay, so part of it over here. This is all part of the anchor. And all up in here is part of the anchor as well. So you want to color all this in here. Color all this gray. Okay, and then across here is part of the anchor. And it goes across this way is part of the anchor. And then up in here and around, okay, around that dark black part there. Go around this circle, that's kind of like the top of the anchor. Okay, so now we have our crab colored red and our anchor is colored gray. Our next letter is the letter C. What color are we going to make our letter C? Orange. So take your orange crayon and let's see where we have the letter C. Okay, it looks like there's nothing up there. Okay, here's the letter C down here. This is a starfish. Sometimes it's called a sea star. So we'll color our starfish. Color that in orange. Okay. And do we see any more? I don't think so. All right, and here's the letter D. D is going to be what color? Purple. Take your purple crayon. And let's look for our letter D. Here's our D. This fish up here is purple. Okay, that has a letter D, so we'll make this little fish up there. Make that little guy purple. And where else do we see a letter D? Oh, here it is, down here. Okay, this is called a sand dollar. So the around the outside has the letter D. So we're going to put this outside part of the sand dollar. We'll make this purple. So it's starting to look nicer and nicer. Okay, you guys are doing a great job. Taking your time, doing your very best. That's what we want. Always do your very best. All right, so there's our purple. So we have A, B, C, D. What's our next letter? E, and the E is going to be what color? Blue. All right, now the blues are very, very small. So up here, you see where these little bubbles are? There's the letter E in some of those. We're going to do some of those bubbles. You can do all the bubbles if you want. You don't have to, but you could do all of them if you feel like doing that. And here, there's some more bubbles. We'll make those bubbles blue. And do we see any more E's? Oh, yes, his eyes, little circles in his eyes there are blue. And I don't think, oh, yeah, here's one more right down here on our sand dollar. The rest of this part here is going to be blue as well. Okay. Oh, doesn't this look nice? All right, and then we have one last letter. We have A, B, C, D, E, and our last letter is F. And what color will that be? Green. And we're going to color all of the seaweed green. Now, the seaweed is outlined in gray. Okay, so this is a lighter outline to make it easier for you to find. So we're going to color all of those gray outlined spaces with our green crayon. Okay, so this is going to be the seaweed. Now there's a lot of little spaces in here and they're all kind of twirling into each other. Okay, so you have to look really carefully because you want to be coloring the parts that have the gray outline. Okay, the other part is the ocean, so you don't want to be coloring that part in. Okay, you want to just do this here. Color all these little seaweed spaces. Okay, some of them have the letter F, and some of them just continue on. Right, and here's another piece of seaweed down here. So I'm going to color this piece of seaweed. Okay, we'll color this carefully. Right, and it continues up in here. Okay, see there's another little F there. So we'll color in there. Okay, we find some more. Here's some more over here. Okay, this is all part of our seaweed. And this big piece here that goes up, this is part of our seaweed. This is the letter F. See that letter F there? Okay, so we're going to color in here with our green crayon. Right, there's lots of seaweed under the ocean. All right, and we're almost done. A little bit more. Here's some more over here. This little space there. Here's another little space here. Here's another little space there. And it looks like we have one more piece of seaweed. Okay, so we'll color right up in here where the letter F is, inside that gray area. And we're almost done. Right up in here. And here we now have our picture. What do you think, everybody? Nice job, right? That was fun. Okay, see you later.